Hello and welcome to Top Story. Sunday's snap elections in Poland suggest Donald Tusk's right-wing, business-oriented Civic Forum has won a convincing victory. The attempt by Prime Minister Jarosław Kaczyński to win a second term for his ruling Law and Justice party has failed. Civic Platform looks set to have won around 227 seats in Parliament, leaving the Law and Justice party with just 158. Kaczyński, the identical twin or brother of President Lech Kaczyński, called the election when his party lost the support of its junior coalition partner, Self-Defense, over a corruption scandal. The fight against corruption and the Kaczyński twins' determination to squeeze out former communist officials from public positions became central issues in the electoral campaign. Their opponents accused them of undermining democracy and using the struggle against corruption to undermine political opponents. Donald Tusk also accused the outgoing government of ignoring economic reform and needlessly antagonizing the European Union. Well, joining me now to discuss the election and its implications is François Barfoil, Director of Research at the National Centre for Scientific Research in Paris and an expert on Poland. Thanks very much for being on Top Story.
Good morning.
François, assuming that the picture that we're now getting is accurate, does this mean that Civic Platform will be able to rule a majority government, or will they still have to find a coalition partner?
Up to now, they have almost 50%, 40%, but they are the real victor of this competition. And what is important is compared to 2005 in the last election, they have won more than 4.5 million of voters. It's a very good success for democracy, very good success for this liberal party. On the opposite, peace are not so much lost in terms of percentage, but in terms of voice, almost 2 million of voters. It's very important.
For Donald Tusk, the leader of Civic Platform, this is a huge victory over Jarosław Kaczyński, but he still has to govern with the other identical twin, the president, Lech Kaczyński, who, as president, has enormous powers in Poland, powers of veto.
Yes, this architecture is built on the same example of France, and therefore it is obliged to cohabit with the president, and the president had the veto power. But yesterday, Lech Kaczyński, Jarosław Kaczyński, the former chief of the government, said that he wouldn't use this veto power in order to block the new government. It's a sign of democratic behavior. We are not sure that you will use, but you know, if Tusk and the PO will do a coalition with the PSL, it's may be possible because he has not, in terms of seats, the whole majority. It seems that 10 seats are missing. If he will do a coalition with the PSL, he has the capacity to block the veto power.
One of the most encouraging things about this election has been the turnout. Was it last time around 2005, something like less than 40% of the electorate voted? This time between 50 and 55%. That is, it's very encouraging for Polish democracy then.
It's very important. It's a very important. The first point we have to underline, because since I think since 1993 it's the best result of the polls. It was said that Poland was the worst child of the classroom. We have seen it in 2005 during the parliamentary election, during the European elections, and now 55. It's a very good sign, very good signal.
What has been the key factor, do you think? Has it been, for instance, the large number of Poles who have gone into emigration and come back, who have seen a different world perhaps?
Probably immigration play a role, because it was said that yesterday a lot of migrants in Great Britain, in Ireland, massively moved for
and there are something like 1 million Poles living in Britain alone now.
It is said between 1 million and 2 million immigrated from Poland, and 60% in Great Britain and in Ireland. But I'm not sure that it's a signal that a lot of people wanted to change, because if they migrate, it's because the Polish situation, domestic situation, is not so good as said, and the wages are very low, and they hope to win better, and it's a fact. No, I think that we need to know exactly what happened in the campaign, in the countryside, because, you know, in 2005 there was a real cleavage in this country between the rural areas on the eastern part and the urban areas on the western part, and now we don't know, but I suppose that in the eastern part, even in the eastern part, people of the rural countryside decided to vote for Tusk. It's a very important signal.
This election still leaves Poland badly divided, though, doesn't it? Between, on the one hand, rural, traditional, predominantly Catholic Poland, and the new Poland, predominantly urban, predominantly young, well-educated, business-oriented. Can Donald Tusk do anything to overcome that?
Yes, I agree with what you said, although that the whole Poland is Catholic, and there's not a cleavage between Tusk and Kaczynski. Tusk is very Catholic as well. But there is a real difference, a real cleavage between the western part, more integrated, more to the world, to the western part, more educated, more urban, more linked to the western part, and the eastern part, which has suffered a lot since 1990, since the breakdown of the communism. It has suffered a lot. There is no foreign direct investment. The farm states have been destroyed, and so on and so on. It's a challenge for Donald Tusk, but he is a representative of the youth, of the liberal side, of the urban side. It's a challenge, but Kaczynski decided to deliver a huge program for the eastern part, 2 billion euro for 5 voivodeship, for 5 eastern regions. They have money. The main problem for Tusk, I think, is to build up a new and a competent administration able to manage the structural funds, because Poland received from EU more than 60 billion of euros for the structural funds and 30 million for the CAP.
So as an outsider looking in, as a European outsider looking in, what sort of changes would you hope to have from Donald Tusk's party?
They have to rebuild what the Kaczynski have destroyed, the sense of the rule of law. And it was a very dangerous politics they have led, because they combated the constitutional court, they combated the past, they combated all the people we will have been against their politics. And therefore Tusk have to reconcile the both parts. I'm not sure that it will defend the eastern part. It is the electorate of the twin, but he will do, I think, the best for delivering a better image in the European Union. It's very important, and he will do his best for building up a good administration.
That's all we have time for today, I'm afraid. Thanks to François Barfoil of the National Centre for Scientific Research. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of Top Story. Goodbye.